How y'all doing? Welcome to the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. It's your host Cody Potter. How y'all doing today? Going to go over the Week 4 college landscape, kind of do a little talk about a few prospects, man, little flows to the game and things like that. I think it's going to be a very, very, very awesome week of college football, man. This is probably the most games I think I have highlighted all season as far as for 1 week. You got Syracuse, Clemson, SMU, TCU. That's an in-state rivalry. Two exciting teams, two teams that can air it out offense. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Both of them do have a little bit of defense. I got some prospects that I really like on both sides for SMU on their defense, but this game is going to be about offense, definitely. Maryland, Wisconsin, very, very big matchup. I'm very, very curious to see. This is the first big test for Malik Washington for Maryland. The true freshman quarterback. Wisconsin's no slouch. Well-coached team. Really, really like their coaching staff over there. We're gonna see how Malik Washington faces his first, handles his first big test. Man, it's been a ease into the game every week. He's getting a little bit better, a little bit quicker. But this is gonna be the first, like I said, the first real test. It's on the road. We're gonna find out a lot about Malik Washington this week. Texas Tech, Utah, ranked matchup, top 25 teams. This is going to be exciting as hell. It's really, really going to be about what is Utah's defense, strength of their team against the Texas Tech offense, and the strength of that team. That running back Williams over there, it's a hell of a football player. He's gonna get drafted pretty damn high this year. He's a player that I really, really, really like. Texas Tech is. They're exciting to watch on offense, man. They really do stick to their identity. Utah's a tough, hard-nosed football team, man. They always have defenders that you're looking for in the draft. Big, physical. So it's going to be a good matchup, good tough matchup, man. It's strength on strength when it comes to this matchup. So I'm very, very excited. Two top 25 teams, as I said, man. It doesn't get any better. It's in Utah, so the tilt kind of favors that as far as being home, but as far as any edge, this is as close as it gets to a matchup, man. It's going to be a really good game. Michigan, Nebraska. This is another really, really awesome. You got Bryce Underwood, number one recruit coming out of high school this year for this season. He's a freshman quarterback, and then you got Dylan Raiola, the sophomore who was the number one recruit out of high school the previous year for Nebraska. These are two teams that are very much going through early coaching changes. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very early in their coaches' careers there as far as what they're trying to implement. You know what I'm saying? Harbaugh going to the NFL, and then Shereen Moore taking over. Then you got Nebraska with Matt Rule, coming over from out of the NFL, coaching the Carolina Panthers and things like that. He did really good things at Temple. He did really good. He had his moments in Carolina, man, but he's a really, really good college coach, man. He's very, very good at recruiting, and he gets really, really tough defenses to for the college football landscape. Dylan Raiola, Bryce Underwood, man, this is an exciting matchup, man. Two really good kids coming out of high school that I think they're gonna be premier college quarterbacks by the time it's really their time for their draft stock to take off and stuff like that. Raul's already shown growth, maturing at the position, being able to manage the games, not playing Superman ball 24/7, which for a college kid that's excellent. Both have wheels, both are big physical guys. Bryce Underwood is an elite level athlete. I mean, like a Josh Allen, like 6'3", 230, Josh Allen's 6'5", 230, but 240, but cannon of an arm. Bryce Underwood's an exciting player for Michigan, man. So I'm really, really looking forward to this matchup. Like I said, I think both teams are about a year away from really being, starting to really shape into the team that I think you're going to see moving forward, but both are very much playoff contenders, I think, moving forward after this year. And then you got Auburn, Oklahoma ranked matchup, man. This is going to be a really, really good game, man. This is I want to see Cam Coleman step up for Auburn, man. This is a player I really, really like. True freshman last year, so sophomore this year. Very, very big physical guy. He has like almost that, like, how do I say this, man, without I hate player comps and things like that. I just use them for like similar play styles and things like that, man. But this guy has a skill set of like that old like Brandon Marshall, like just you get him the ball, let him run with it. He has really strong hands, just big physical wide receiver. Can go up, pluck the ball out of the air. I like Cam Coleman, man. He hasn't flashed to the level that I thought he would this season, but I know all that's coming. And then you got John Mateer over there from Oklahoma, man. He's making his case for the Heisman, man. This would be a huge step in going to it. Oklahoma the past couple of years has really, really, really let down, man. And I'm very, very excited to see what they can do with John Mateer. He's really elevated that team, and that's the reason that they are ranked as high as they are. Biggest game of the week for me, of course, is Florida-Miami. Miami's playing in the background right now, but in-state rivalry, it doesn't really matter what the records are for these teams. It doesn't matter. Miami is highly ranked, so you're going to have to show up. You're going to have to be the team that everybody expects you to be. Carson Beck is why you bring this type of quarterback in, the veteran, as far as a college quarterback, things like that. He's making tight window throws, man. He's putting the ball where it needs to be. The playmakers are stepping up and making plays for him. C.J. Daniels, Ruben Bain Jr., man, the edge, man. This dude I think if you're following, most people aren't into mock drafts this early and things like that into the year, unless their team is 0-2 right now in the NFL. But if you were looking at mock drafts right now, I would say that Ruben Bain Jr. is probably anywhere. He's no lower than pick number 5. If anybody's doing any kind of research, this dude's a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Probably top 3 when it's all said and done. Would love this dude. Absolutely would love this dude on the Commanders, man. He's a throwback as far as his size, and then you add in the athletic ability and traits and all that, the measurables, what he's going to test at and things, and you're seeing all those measurables on tape, and the explosive ability, man. This dude is a top 5 pick. Glad he's healthy, glad he's producing, man. He's all over the field. He's just a havoc wreaker, man. So Florida Miami, that's going to be a big game in state rivalry. Always is. Doesn't matter to the records. It's going to be a good game. Illinois Indiana, another matchup that I really, really like, man. It's two teams that are really, really, it's just consistency, man. Consistency, playing to the scheme. It's veteran leadership and things like that. You got graduate seniors, you got fifth year seniors, things like that. Redshirt seniors and things like that on these teams, man. They're very, very experienced, man. But the coaching staff does a very, very good job of implementing the scheme. They're very, very well coached football players. You're going to find some guys in the draft that are getting drafted in the third, second round, maybe just because of their age, but their production on the field, man, is very, very good. And really, really good football players, man. So I'm very excited for that matchup as well. ASU Baylor, this is completely schematic. This is completely matchup based for me. Levitt and Jordan Tyson, they're going to have to step up. And then, Baylor in that offense, man, they got weapons there. They got wide receivers that I really, really like. They got a quarterback that I think is going to be a pretty good prospect in his own right. What the level of prospect he ends up being by the end of this year, regardless of what Baylor's record is completely up to him, man. It's all in his hands, but he is a really good college quarterback, and I think he has the skill set to actually translate to the NFL, given some time and things like that. And then the matchup that I'm kind of most excited for outside of Miami University, being a Miami University fan, but just the matchup I'm most excited to watch just for the prospects in this game, and I will definitely be reporting on it next week, is Michigan State USC. This is the type of game I really, really like to scout. One, because Michigan State is very, very tough in the trenches, man. 3 offensive linemen that I really, really like. That's the type of hard-nosed football that I really, really like to scout. I like when it's down and dirty. The USC defense is kind of not built that way, but they are playing more physical. They're typically not known for that, but their back end, man, their free safety Fitzgerald is a player that I really, really like. I know that Caleb Downs is getting all the pub this year for the safety position, as far as draft prospects and things like that. But Fitzgerald is a absolute stud. Just a rangy, eyes on the quarterback, man. This guy is a lightning rod on the back end, man. You don't usually say that about free safety players. You know, the back end players are kind of lost in the shuffle. You only notice them when it's bad, or, you know, they make a freak play out of nowhere kind of thing. But it's feast or famine back there, and Fitzgerald is a really, really good player. McRae and Pierce are also players that I really, really like. Lane, and then of course Malachi Lemon. He's going to play. He's going to be a first round pick in the NFL draft this year. I think he's definitely a first round pick. The other receiver, Lane, is going to probably be a third round wide receiver this year, and then, like I said, you got Pierce and Fitzgerald. So again, Matt, those are the matchups I'm really, really looking at. I didn't really mention Syracuse Clemson yet because honestly, dude, this is really where I wanted to get into the meat of my discussion as far as these teams, man. It's not so much the teams and the matchup. It is, if you are Clemson and you're trying to do the things you came into the season as far as the preseason hype and all the things, okay, you can throw that out the window. Like you got 2 losses. This is a team that is honestly one half of football away from being a 3-loss team, and you were right in the LSU game, and that's a hard game to lose. But Cade Klubnik is a better quarterback than I think he has played this season, man. I had him as my number 1 coming into the season. I thought just the dynamic legs, you know, mixed with the anticipatory throws that he demonstrated as growth last year, you know, whether it be tape, whether it be defensive coordinators noticing something, clearly there was an adjustment made from this year to last year. Cade Klubnik is a better quarterback than what we have seen through the first 3 weeks for Clemson. And if Clemson is going to salvage the season, if they are going to make their run, it starts now, because you really cannot lose another game. And if you do lose another game, it better be the ACC championship game, and it better be by like a last-second, third overtime field goal, whatever the hell it is. But too much talent in that team, man. Like one of my favorite wide receivers in all of college football is on that team, man. Like you have 3 offensive linemen, you got 3 defensive linemen, you know, TJ Parker, things like that. You got a really, really excellent linebacker on the second level, along with another good linebacker that's paired with him. And then you have, you know, the rotation and things like that. And then you got back end help. You got the Avian Terrells and then the safety play that's back there. And it's just like, dude, Clemson is way too talented of a football team. And how we see it every year. We see talented teams that have all the preseason, you know, high expectations, and they just don't meet the expectations for whatever reason it is. But at the same time, man, Clemson has got to step up. They got to win this game. Syracuse is not a rollover team. It's a team that they should beat. Clemson, you know, when you look at it stylistically, you look at it on paper, but paper doesn't win football games, man. And this is the time where Clemson really needs to look in that mirror and do some soul searching, because if they do not get it together really, really quickly, and just honestly, with like I said, man, with the talent, I mean, running back position, the offensive line, like the wide receivers that you have over there, man, like Bryant Wesco Jr. is an absolute stud sophomore receiver. Like I said, he's one of my favorite receivers in all of college football. Like if I could draft this kid right now to Washington, I would, because of the way that, you know, like just the element that he adds, like the height, the speed, the route running ability, the hands catching away from the frame, the tight roping on the sideline, you know, the feel for sideline, the body control and everything like that when he is going up for the ball, the 50-50 ability, and just, you know, the speed that goes with the size that he has, and just the whole well-rounded package. I like Bryant Wesco Jr. a lot. Number 12 for Clemson, and I just I'm looking at, and that's not even the only wide receiver that is going to get drafted in the first 2 frames of their draft class when they do come out, man. Dude, Clemson is way too good for this. And honestly, man, like I said, like there's a reason that I highlighted all these matchups, not just because they're ranked or whatever it is. Like each team has their own reason that I highlighted them for. But the Syracuse-Clemson matchup, man, this is pivotal for Clemson season, man. Like I said, like the USC matchup is just, it's a matchup that I'm trying to really, really scout, because for me, there's 5 players that I'm really, really trying to get my eyes on. For USC, this is their first big test as far as Michigan State, for whatever we say, because Michigan State's had some bad years leading up to this. They are 3-0, and they're a tough football team, man, and they are built with an identity of being a tough, I want to run the football. They do have some tough physical wide receivers over there. So again, that's a reason that I wanted to scout this game beyond just the records. Like, Miami, Florida, need I say more? Auburn, Oklahoma, like this is Material's real test right here. They ran through Michigan, but Michigan has a freshman quarterback, and that was his first big game, and it was on the road. So again, there's this is Oklahoma's real big first test in SEC play. This is going to be it. Auburn is always that team that they can show up and ruin the day. But they are undefeated in their own right, man. So Auburn is playing the way that they need to play. But this, like I said, this is the first test for both of them in the SEC. I'm very, very curious to see how this goes. And then, like I said, the Texas Tech Utah, man, that is strength on strength, ranked teams. It's going to be a very, very exciting matchup. And then again, I'm highlighting Maryland, Wisconsin because I really want to see what Malik Washington. He is a freshman quarterback that I'm really, really high on, not just because he goes to Maryland, and that's my hometown. It's really about the skill set for me, and I really do like a lot of the players that I see on Maryland, man. Like, they have a linebacker that I really, really, really like, draftable prospect, strong safety that I really, really like. Their cornerback number 14, another player that I can name off head, just things like that, man. There's a lot of players at Maryland that I do like, and just, like I said, this is Malik Washington's first big test. It's like, on the road, big test, freshman court, true freshman, like you're expecting the energy, the atmosphere. It's how long does it take for him to get into the game? Just like the first couple weeks of the season, you saw him slowly get into the game, have to get his feet under him, get himself in rhythm, things like that. How quickly can Maryland get him comfortable in this game, and can he elevate his play enough to go into this atmosphere and win this type of game? That's what I'm really looking to see from Malik Washington. So again, I appreciate you guys checking out the college football week 4 preview. This is the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. I really do appreciate you guys sticking around for the pod. Anything that you guys want to add, you can comment on my page on YouTube, things like that. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I just appreciate talking football, man, and this is what I do. So if you guys learned anything, enjoyed the pod, give me some feedback, whatever, you can ask questions. I'll answer them on future episodes. But again, have a fun time, man. Have a blessed week. Things like that. Enjoy college football this weekend. It's going to be a really good tilt. Peace.